Okay, once again, I'm joined by Liverpool U23's manager Neil Critchley. Critch, how's it going? Just in life.
In life in general, very well. Yeah, couldn't be happy at the moment. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, a massive top of the table clash coming up in the mini derby as well. I mean, this is what you're looking for, really, isn't it? I mean, we're looking for this at senior level to some extent. You know, it'd be great to have the Merseyside teams be 1 and 2 in the order that they're in right now as well.
That'd be nice.
But you know, again, it's just going to add that little bit of extra spice, and you know, as we've talked before, these are things that, in terms of development of the players, adding as many of these factors can only be a good thing for these lads.
Yeah, well, I think it's important.
Or not?
No. I think at under 23 level, you know, we want to get our players ready to play in the first team and develop players that can play in big games under pressure. So the fact that, you know, it's Liverpool, Everton, and we're in good positions in the league, that maybe adds a little bit more to the game, and these are the games that our boys we want to play in. So I'm looking forward to Saturday night immensely. Yeah.
Is there a temptation to have a word with Jürgen and say, "Come on, is there anyone there we can just?"
No, not at all. No.
What about the other way? Is there anyone, you know, when you look at maybe look down to the 18s or whatever, and you think, I know that it's quite, you know, there's a lot of movement as it is. Is there anyone you think, again, it's a derby, it'd be great to give it a younger lad a
We just pick the team that we think is right at that time. So whether that is, we got a couple of first team players dropping down because they need game time, and we facilitate that, brilliant. If there's people playing in the 18s who deserve an opportunity, then we should make sure that happens as well. 18s and 23s is about providing the appropriate challenge at the right time. So Rhian is obviously still eligible to play for the U team, but we feel at this moment in time he's best served playing in the 23s. Liam Miller had a introduction against Newcastle to that, and Liam Coyle's already played for us this season, so I'm sure there's 1 or 2 more who'll start to appear as the season progresses.
Yeah. One thing I want to pick your brain on, just in a general sense. We did a video the other week with Lucas Laver talking about the evolution of the defensive midfield role, which I thought was a fascinating insight. Is there a position equivocal to that that's maybe evolved just as much, or a position that maybe wasn't as important has become at the forefront of football? Maybe, you know, I guess fullbacks are the
when you say that, I think the game's just evolved, so therefore, you know, the characteristics of each player in their position has changed over the years. So, you know, you look at the fullbacks, who are, you know, virtually wingers at times. So therefore, you look at the defenders, who have to be more athletic and defend in bigger spaces. There's probably less heading than what there used to be in terms of defending. You know, you've seen the emergence of a false 9, and I'm sure some of the older generation would just say that's just playing off a strike or playing in the hole. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but wingers who play inside the pitch and can play in tighter areas, and so I wouldn't say there's massive differences, but I think there's always football does change, and there's been a slight shift in maybe the characteristics you need. Even the goalkeeper, you know, look at how much they use their feet now. So the game changes, therefore the characteristics of each position changes slightly. How does
that impact the coaching side of things? Because it does look like football's it becomes more and more attacking with each season that goes, as you say. Fullbacks as wingers, centre halves being required to be able to bomb on into the midfield and what have you. How do you strike the balance? Because let's be honest, when you play football, everyone wants to do the attacking stuff. That's the stuff everyone wants to do. How do you then rein that in and go, right, okay, it's great that you can fly forward?
You just have to have an academy philosophy that you believe in, and it has to be consistent. So, you know, from the pre-academy up to 9s and all the way up to like 10, 11, it's, you know, very technical based. And as you get to 12, it's sort of like building the identity of the individual and making sure they know how to play within the team. And then maybe as they're getting older, then it's providing the right opportunity and making sure they know how to win and what winning looks like, that becomes more important. But you want that to be sort of a common theme throughout your academy, that if you've got enough good players, then winning games and developing players go hand in hand.
Yeah, it was something Jamie Carragher once said in an interview when he talked about, because of the way the football's changing, the roles being required of centre-halves in particular, that they're being told to think more about football, to have more of a footballing brain. But he kind of felt that the old school mentality of centre-halves, of you're going into a war, you're going into a battle. How do you strike that balance up with players? Is that a difficult balance to find? Because it's two very conflicting things, going in blood and thunder, but also having a coolness on the ball must be very difficult to mesh.
It is. That is difficult, because I think Saturday will be a good example of that, where you want the players to be competitive, you want them to be ready for the battle, so to speak, but you have to be calm enough and composed enough to play the type of football that we want to play. That there's a fine line between both of them, and sometimes also the type of game that they're in the environment that you're in every day. Maybe that's slightly different than it was 15-20 years ago. So it's to marry them up. Can be a difficult challenge at times, yeah.
And do you feel you've got you've got a great crop of players there? Do you feel you've got those lads who possess that skill set? Yeah,
I think we've shown that in the games we've played so far this season. I don't think we've been found in wanting and in that side of the game, and I don't think that'll be any different on Saturday.
Amazing. Well, listen, thanks again for your time.
Thank you very much.
Always an absolute pleasure. And of course, go and check out the mini derby. Go and do it in person. If you're in the northwest, or you fancy a trip up to Liverpool, do the tourist thing, but also go and check out Prenton Park Saturday.
7 o'clock.
There you go. You know it. And of course, if you can't make it as well, check it out on LFC TV Go as well. Cheers.
Christmas merchandise out now. Click the annotation on the left hand side of the screen or the link in the description. Last Christmas, oh my word, have you seen this design? Could you imagine how many Evertonians you will piss off by wearing this at the dinner table on Christmas Day? Oh yes.